All right, lads. Today we're going to be reacting to the GM survey. We're going to be reacting to the WNBA GM survey. And for me, this one was kind of crazy. This one was kind of sort of really freaking crazy. That's the only thing you're going to get from me. It was really crazy. And with that being said, it's something that could be a little bit fun to do. And some of these answers are mad. Some of these is genuinely are mad. But obviously, you weren't allowed to vote for your own players. Like, it is going to be interesting. But it is yeah, it's a crazy old survey. But I actually agree with Minnesota winning the championship. Only 10 people voted on that. So, obviously not all 13. Only 10 voted on who's winning the championship, and 6 of the 10 said Minnesota, 2 of the 10 said New York, 1 said Vegas, 1 said the Ace, 1 said the Indiana Fever. So, yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough. Who will win 2025 WNBA MVP? Fee. Yeah, Fee's my prediction. Aja, I think, is very unlikely. I have Aja at 4. I have AT. Honestly, I have AT at 3. Caitlin 2. Fair enough. If you're starting a franchise and you can sign any player in WNBA, who would it be? Half of them said Caitlin Clark. 33% said Aja Wilson. Obviously, you would take Caitlin Clark. Aja Wilson's arguably the best player in the world right now, either her or Fee. And they're in and around the same age, so I'm cool with taking either of them. And then the fact that a GM, non-Seattle Storm GM, said Dominique Malonga. Jesus, somebody must have been super duper high on Dominique Malonga. Which player forces the opposing coaches to make the most adjustments? I mean, the answer is Caitlin Clark. I watch nearly every game both the Aces and the Fever played. Like, teams let Aja Wilson drive right. Teams blitz Caitlin Clark full court. The fact that Stewie, what teams adjust for Stewie? Like Alyssa Thomas, people adjust more for Alyssa Thomas than Stewie. I'm going to be honest. Which player is most likely to have a breakout season? So everybody got 1 vote other than Satu, who got 2, I'm guessing. But Maddie Siegrist, Kia Jackson, Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston was most likely last year. Who's the best point guard in the WNBA? Why is Chelsea Gray even in second place? She's just had a season where she averaged 8 points per game, and even worse I think she was even worse in the playoffs. Like, she's coming off a season where she averaged 8 points per game. 8 points per game. Like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that oh, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. So half of the GMs thought Caitlin Clark was a point guard, and 33% of them said that Caitlin Clark was a shooting guard. So everyone who voted Caitlin Clark as a shooting guard, I would assume, voted Chelsea Gray as best point guard. The fact that even two GMs actually voted Caitlin Clark above Chelsea Gray, or Chelsea Gray above Caitlin Clark, is madness. In the year of 2025 is madness. And there's even 2. But, like, obviously, there's no tie at first. Because apparently Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA at a position she does not play. Sabrina Ionescu is the second best player at a position she does not play. Well, at least Sabrina plays a bit more at the 2. She plays a little bit more at the 2 than Caitlin does, but, like, for about halfway through the year, she was a starting point guard. She nearly won MVP as a point guard. So she doesn't get a single vote. And by the way, Sabrina Ionescu is the second best point guard in the WNBA. And, like, it's not even a debate. It is the 1-2 is Caitlin and Sabrina. And then there's a big gap. Then there is genuinely a big gap. But yeah, it's I don't understand how Chelsea Gray, first of all, how she got above Sabrina Ionescu. But if Sabrina Ionescu is not a point guard, then, like, Caitlin Clark's apparently a shooting guard. Like, this doesn't. What GMs think Caitlin Clark's a shooting guard? Those GMs need to be exposed. Who's the best forward in the WNBA? Fee and Aja Wilson, even. But Aja is also the best center in the WNBA. Okay, so it's the same thing there. Aja Wilson, who plays power forward, is the best center in the WNBA. Cool. So a player who does not start center, does not play most of the game as center, is the best center. Cool. I get it. What team made the best overall moves? Indiana. Dallas? Who voted for Dallas? Giving Maisha Hines-Allen the max contract, trading for Nalissa Smith, and getting a couple of draft picks, one of which was an early second round pick, which you just got rid of. I don't know. But it's it is an interesting one. Who would be the most underrated player acquisition? Sophie Cunningham, Ariel Atkins, Dejanay. Fair enough. Other people were voting for Dwana Bonner, Natasha Cloud, Sammy Whitcomb, Phoenix, really? Salute for Chicago. Fair enough. Like, salute for Chicago might be. That might be. If I was to answer that, salute might be the answer, you know. Most surprising addition, Dwana Bonner. Yeah, of course. Because do we not remember we saw the great NBC reporter say the Fever are unlikely destination for Dwana Bonner for reasons that should be pretty clear. What reasons? She joined Indiana. Griner and Bree Jones. I think the problem with Brittany Griner and Bree Jones was both of them going. I think everyone knew Brittany Griner was leaving and knew Bree Jones was leaving. I don't think anyone thought they were both going to the same team. And they were both going to be chucking threes. Kelsey Plum to the LA Sparks was the worst kept secret in the history of the WNBA. Satu to Phoenix. Yeah, actually, in fairness, everyone thought it was going to be New York. Natasha Howard to Indiana. I think Indiana were the favorites to sign her. Which team will be most improved? Indiana, Chicago. I would project Atlanta. Atlanta would be my pick because Atlanta won 15 games last year. They lost. Like, will the Fever win 5 more games than Atlanta? I don't think so. Who will be Rookie of the Year? Paige, quite obvious. Dominique Malonga at 18%. I think that the 2 people vote for Dominique Malonga is crazy as well. I think she could be great. She will be 60% of GMs said that Dominique Malonga will be better than Paige Bueckers in 5 years. And you do realize what age they're going to be 5 years from now. Paige is going to be pushing 30. And Dominique Malonga is going to be 24. So Dominique Malonga will not have turned... Like Paige will be, again, should be about to turn 29. She'll turn 29 before Dominique Malonga turns 25. And apparently in 5 years, a 25-year-old Dominique Malonga better than a 29-year-old Paige? I'm sorry. I can guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of GMs that would have taken Malonga at 1. Which rookie was the biggest steal? The biggest steal was Malonga at 2, apparently. Aaliyah Nye is an interesting one. Michaela Timpson, yeah. That's a very big one. Kosu long-term. 2nd round. Yeah. Sarah Ashley Barker at 9. I don't see that one. Isaiah James at 12. I don't see that one either. But the fact that multiple GMs voted for Malonga being the steal of the draft at 2. Malonga being the steal of the draft means genuinely, like, a lot of people would have taken her 1. Who's the best international player? Jonquel Jones, Ezzy Magbagor. Dominique Malonga. What are we doing? Dominique Malonga as a rookie. Who's voting on this? Who genuinely? 19-year-old Dominique Malonga. Who's voting on this? Who is voting on this? And why is Satu? Why does Satu only have 1 vote? Who is voting Dominique Malonga this year over Satu Sabali? What GM is voting that? Do they think that because she went to Oregon, she's American? Like, I understand Jonquel. I actually understand Ezzy over Satu. But, like, and I even understand Leo over Satu. But Dominique Malonga, who's voting for Dominique Malonga as the best current international player at 19 years old? What country is producing the best WNBA talent? France. It's obviously France. It's obviously France. Who's the best defensive player? Nafisa Collier. Alyssa Thomas at 2. Aja Wilson 3rd. Also receiving votes, Brittany Sykes, Ezzy Magbagor, Breanna Stewart. That's crazy voting Stewie. Who's the best interior defender? Apparently, it's Aja. And Fee is not on the perimeter and 3rd. So she's 3rd in best interior defender. Not on the best perimeter defender. Alyssa Thomas isn't the best perimeter or interior defender, but is a better defender than Aja Wilson's best interior defender. I actually agree with that statement, but How are the same people voting the opposite way? Who will be the best defensive team? Minnesota. Also receiving votes Seattle, Vegas, New York. New York on defense, really? Who's the best head coach? Cheryl Reeve. Yeah. Becky Hammond. Which head coach is the best manager / motivator? People, Cheryl Reeve, Becky Hammond. At least Stephanie White got a few votes for that. Best in-game adjustments, Cheryl Reeve. Runs the best offense, Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammond. Carl Smesko's not coached the game yet. And first of all, did we not watch the Aces last year? They played puke ball. That's the only way I can describe how the Las Vegas Aces play basketball. It was legitimately not even basketball at times. Like, they weren't good on offense at all. Which new or relocated head coach make the biggest impact? Stephanie White, Tyler Marsh, Carl Smesko. I'm guessing the same person voted Smesko twice. And I stand by this. Carl Smesko is going to be a better offensive coach than both of these. Like, in fairness, Cheryl Reeve is a better offensive coach than Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond's just really good at drawing out ATOs at a timeout plays. Like, she's great at drawing ATOs. Like, that's it. Yeah, it's which active player make the best head coach? Don't know anything about these players. To be honest, Georgia Amor has not played a WNBA game. Then they have Lindsay Lindsay Alley. Which retired player isn't coaching W should be? I'm sorry. GMs are voting Lisa Leslie. You had a chance to hire Lisa Leslie. GMs chose not to hire Lisa Leslie. They had a chance and said no. Subaru, Candice Bree, she's the owner. Maya Moore, Candice Parker, Katie Smith. Okay. Which two teams will lead their conference in the Commissioner's Cup to reach the championship game? I'm sorry, the Liberty are missing 3 players for the Commissioner's Cup because of Eurobasket. That's a mad take to make. The Liberty there. Minnesota, it's literally Minnesota versus New York, or Vegas versus New York, and then Minnesota versus Indiana, Vegas versus Indiana. Which team are the most fun to watch? Indiana, obviously. Phoenix will be really fun to watch, in fairness. Vegas, who enjoys watching the Aces play? They are literally one of those boring teams to watch. They play puke ball. It's just give it to Angel Wilson and she runs to the basket, and if she goes to the basket and if she shoots and misses, she just flails and it's a foul. It's like 80% of her offense. Or last year was Kelsey Plum go ISO. This year it'll be Jewel Lloyd go ISO. Which team has best home court advantage? New York, Indiana, and Vegas. I don't think New York or Indiana have a home court advantage as much as they negate the other team's home court advantage. I think that's a huge thing Indiana have, is that they negate the other team's home court advantage. And I mean, the Aces have a great home court advantage against the Sparks with Diarra Hamby being booed for 40 minutes. Which team is the most promising young core? Indiana, 50%. LA over Chicago, really? Who? What? So Cam Brink, Rakia Jackson, and Sarah Ashley Barker over Cardoso and Reese. I see it, but it's a close one. Also voted. Who voted Vegas? That's Kirsten Bell, Liz Kitley, and Aaliyah Nye. Liz Kitley does not look like a WNBA player. Kirsten Bell is not a WNBA player. And Aaliyah Nye was the second round pick. That is mental. That's absolutely mental. Not only that, like Chicago also have, what's her name coming over? They also have Sivka coming over next year. No, like the best young core in the WNBA is Indiana, 2A, 2B in Chicago and LA, and then maybe Dallas at 4. Do you consider it? Depends on how much highly you rate Alyssa Smith. But like Dallas have got Paige Bueckers, Maddie Siegrist, JJ Quinterly, Isaiah James. Dejanay's not old. Like Dejanay's what? 26, 27. I don't think she's considered young, but if you consider, it depends on how you rate Alyssa Smith. But like, they have a really good young core. Dallas have a really good young core. But how did Vegas get voted? Like, Vegas does not make any sense. Which player is the most athletic? Kat Copper, Brittany Sykes, Dominique Malonga. Also voted. Fee Collier is the most athletic player in the WNBA. They're just saying shit now. Who's the best passer? Chelsea Gray. You know what? Chelsea Gray is the best flashy passer. I'll give you that. But you know what? Like, it depends on the answer. If you were asked about the NBA in the 2000s, who would you say is a better passer, Steve Nash or Jason Williams? If you answered Steve Nash, you got Caitlin. If you answered Jason Williams, then Chelsea Gray. Yeah, she's a better flashy passer. You know what? I don't hate that too much. I'm more annoyed at Chelsea Gray getting votes over Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark for best point guard. I'm more annoyed at that. Fair enough for her as the best passer. Who's the best leader? Fee, Aja Wilson, Tide, Cloud, Stewie. As the others, I mean, Stewie did lead a team to a championship, so I don't know. Who's the most versatile player? Fee, Stewie. Like, did we just say Satu Sabali? Well, how did Leonie Phoebish not get an... Arike Agumbawale is the most versatile player in the WNBA. What? Who votes for this? Who just voted for Arike Agumbawale as the best? Who has the best basketball IQ? That is not Chelsea Gray. You've mistaken vision with passing basketball IQ. I'm sorry. When there is a chest pass to be made and you do a 360 spinning bounce pass off the curl from behind the back, and it's not high IQ. And it's not high IQ. She just makes crazy passes. It's like, no. Salute. You know what? If you want to put Salute at 1, cool. But for me, Alyssa Thomas is the highest basketball IQ. Because basketball IQ has two ends of the floor, and Caitlin Clark's ability to play off the ball and defense is horrendous. Give me Alyssa Thomas for the best basketball IQ. But which player do you want taking a shot with the game on the line? You've got 1 of 19. Caitlin Clark, Courtney Williams. Where is Kelsey Mitchell? If Kelsey Mitchell actually takes the shot, then the amount of clutch shots Kelsey Mitchell hit last year. I'm sorry, Chelsea Gray. I understand unrivaled is unrivaled, but like, come on. Come on now. Unrivaled is unrivaled, but still. Like, what is this? What is this? Vegas, someone voted for Vegas as the best young core. And their best player in their young core is Aaliyah Nye. Somebody voted that, let me think. Someone voted that Carl Semesco is going to have the best offense without coaching a game. Someone voted that Dominique Malonga today is better than Satu Sabali. Some fair enough voting for Dominique Malonga is being better than Paige. That's fair enough. Dominique Malonga for Rookie of the Year is crazy though. She's not going to play enough to be Rookie of the Year unless they bench Ezzy Magbagor. Like, Paige is going to play 30 a game. Dominique Malonga is going to play 18 a game at most. And then also, apparently, Caitlin Clark is the best player in the and Aja Wilson, by the way, are the best players in the WNBA at positions they don't play. And I understand, like, it's positionless, and you can say 4-5s do similar things for Aja Wilson's case. Caitlin Clark is a heliocentric, ball-dominant point guard. A heliocentric, ball-dominant point guard. How is she the best shooting guard? And also, explain to me how Sabrina Ionescu is worse than Chelsea Gray. Explain. You have to explain to me like I'm 5 how Sabrina Ionescu in any way is worse than Chelsea Gray. The only logic of Chelsea Gray being the best point guard in the WNBA at this point in time is if you pretend that Skylar Diggins is a shooting guard, you pretend that Tash Cloud is a center, you pretend that Caitlin Clark is a small forward. Maybe then you can get to Chelsea Gray. But there's a debate with her and Julie Vanloo based on last season. And again, these are predictions for the season. I don't hate it that much, but she's coming off an 8-point per game season. An 8-point per game season. What are we doing?